creating characters and their stories. Hello everyone, my name is ONURHAN B.KARABAŞ and welcome to my presentation. Today, I want to talk about creating characters and their stories, step by step. Introduction. First of all, I am not professional and these steps are all mine. I'm just a student, a learner. I just want you to give some advice if you want to write a novel or a comic book. And for my opinion, this presentation is a roadmap to turn your idea into a story. How do you create suspense? How do you build character? That's what I'm going to talk about. Viewer discretion is advised, and let's begin. Step 1. Choosing the type of your idea. At the beginning, you must convince yourself about the process, because the process can take a month, a year, a lifetime. Don't worry, that's what all great writers do. Choosing the type of your idea. What does it mean? I mean that your idea has to be in a genre, in a sort, in a type. These types are like comedy, science fiction, fiction, thriller, which I'm interested in, some like that. Well, congratulations. You find your type of your idea. Step 2. Create and design your world. And this step is the most important of all. You must create your world before you create your characters, because we are building all the elements we will use in the story in this world. We must specify a destination that brings the reader into itself perfectly. You, as a young writer, the world must be our first element in your story. Quick tip: mind that your world is attractive while you're creating your world. Step 3. You don't need a big idea. You do not. As a young writer, you might think that your idea is used a couple of times, but don't worry. Every single idea has been used for other writers, producers, over and over. You don't need a big idea. You need a big house. Think about it. You want to go to B destination from A. Everyone does that. The trick is, how could you reach the B destination in an interesting way? Put an obstacle in the beginning. Add one more, and one more. Like that. If you go directly to the place that you wanted to go, it will be boring to your reader. Do you want to know where the Star Wars came from? It's Flash Gordon. George Lucas, writer of the Star Wars story, was inspired his story from other stories. See? As Newton said, if I have seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. And as I said, you don't need a big idea. You need a big house. If you're not sure what to write the wrong things a few times, and let that be the process by which you find the right one. Trust me, it's so simple to turn your idea into a story. Just believe in yourself. And let's go with populating the world with characters. Step 4. The hero. Well, you've created your world and you're ready to create your hero. But what are you going to write? You don't know him or her, that's okay, because that's where are we going to start. Start with your hero type again. Is he or she a superhero or a human being? Well, let's go with superheroes. Every superhero you have watched and heard starts from level 1. You have to create an origin story. And your hero, add your hero some weakness. Add him or her some fear, some stress. Because if you add more failure, your reader will feel more himself or herself like your hero. You must choose where your hero becomes a hero. Think about Spider-Man. Think about Batman. Let's look at that from other way. If your hero isn't a superhero, let's think about Robert Langdon, Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code. Think about Katniss Everdeen, Hunger Games. Every character has an origin story. So, create your hero and put him or her into your world. Step 5. The villain. We make the step 5. Let's go for the villain. When we are talking about populating the world with characters, I would argue that you might want your villain before the story begins. You're right. Write your villain before you start. Because your villain is the one who is going to define your hero. Nobody is heroic until they have to come up against an obstacle that makes him or her heroic. A college professor is not heroic necessarily until he has to save Vatican from an antimatter bomb. I mean, it's the challenge that makes him or her superhuman and heroic. So, the way your reader finds your hero is through the villain. It's the pressure to our character that makes him himself. And it will be very helpful if you are thinking, how could I make my character a hero? The answer is simple. Create a worthy opponent. Write your villain. Who is it? And what does he or she want? And that's going to make it impossible for your hero to achieve their goal. Step 6. The finale. What? Are you crazy? I just started to write in hero and villain. How am I going to write finale? At the beginning? Yes. That's the trick. When you're done writing your characters, create a finale. Because all you will write are going to connect to the final. You may feel weird at this time of the presentation, but I'm very, very serious on this one. Create your finale before the story begins. Because you could not run comfortable if you don't see the final destination. Step 7. Places. You might think that places doesn't matter much, but you are terribly wrong. Places are more important than heroes. You must treat places like characters, because places are the destination that makes the reader more excited. Choose a place, put your characters in, and write as though nobody's watching, because nobody's watching. Step 8. Creating suspense. Congratulations, you choose your type, you designed your world, you built a hero and a villain, and you put them into a place. Well, let's make this more interesting. Suspense is all about making promises to your reader. You're telling the reader, I know something you don't know, but I promise I will tell you if you keep going. To create suspense, put your characters' backstories, something dramatic or tragic perhaps, and do not tell what is it to your reader until the end. That suspense will take your reader inside your story. He or she will think, what will happen next? How are they going to make it? As I gave the A and B example from step 3, follow your hero. Think about what is he going to do, and put an obstacle there. And if your hero tries to make it, put in another obstacle again, and again, and again, until the final. So, turn up the tension. This will make your story spectacular. Step 9. Wrap it up. Well, congratulations again. You have all the elements to turn your idea into a story. I hope that will be helpful for you all. Thanks for listening.